Hello, fellow fools, and welcome to the Foolish Friends podcast. I am your host, Bren Bigelow. I use they, them pronouns. Today, we are going to be talking about Scorpio season and just Scorpio energy in general, since we are in Scorpio season. And we are joined today by one of my best friends ever, Mia Lester.
Hello.
Yes, and you're here with us today because why are you qualified to talk about Scorpio?
I'm a Scorpio rising. I have a Scorpio Mars. That Scorpio Mars is in my first house. So Scorpio energy is just a really big part of my life and kind of something I feel comfortable sharing with you guys.
Yeah, Mia is so amazing, has so much wisdom, and is my absolute best magical friend.
Oh my
so
gosh.
I have amazing magical friends, a lot of them, but you are definitely special, my wifey. So
Aw, I love you. Thank
I
you.
love you too.
I'm excited to be here and talk about Scorpio with you because I feel like you just have a really in-depth knowledge of all things.
Oh,
Zodiac.
Thank you. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited to learn from you too.
Yay! Yeah. Well, and I don't have any Scorpio placements myself, at least planetarily, but I do have some asteroids there. So
Nice.
I think my palace is there, and I don't know. We can get into that another time. But wonderful. It is my 8th house as well. So
Ooh, okay.
digging into that like mystery, and I don't know. And I'm very Pisces too, so I naturally like watery people as well. So
Mhm.
do you want to share with everyone too your sun, moon, and rising, and maybe also your Mercury?
Yeah, okay. So my sun is a Capricorn, my moon is a Cancer, rising Scorpio, of course. My Mercury is in Sagittarius. No, my Mercury's in Capricorn.
Yes.
I was born on a Mercury retrograde.
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And Mercury just retrograded today. So if there's any mishaps, we've been misspeaking all day. But since you were born with Mercury retrograde, you probably might be familiar with the retrograde energy more. Yeah?
I mean, I've never had like a bad retrograde per se,
Mhm.
but like things still affect me. I think it's cool that it's in my 3rd house. You know, Capricorn is in my 3rd house, so I think it's just very interesting to see how that affects me because Capricorn's more of like a strategic sign in
Mhm.
Mercury. So I think that plays off well with my Scorpio. And then I do have like Sagittarius Pluto. So I feel like that is also Scorpio coded.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
obviously with the ruler. Yeah, for sure. Modern rulership, absolutely.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, are you ready to get started? We're going to start with some card draws.
Perfect.
Fabulous. So we do always start with this jumbo Rider-Waite tarot deck, and each of us will choose a card. If you would like to go first, you're more than welcome. This deck actually came from Mia, so thank you so much for...
This was my first tarot deck. And
It's so big!
It's too huge.
All right.
Ooh.
What's your card?
The Ace of Pentacles.
I love that for especially today's session. That's absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that in just a moment. And let's see what I've got here. Oh my gosh.
Ooh.
Well, that's too many.
3.
That's
yeah.
far too many. Do you want to talk about our little fortunes really quick while I pick my card?
Yeah, today I brought a gift for Bren. A part of it were these 2 fortunes from the store called Ritual Craft. If you live in Denver, Colorado, you probably know about it. I got this like spider imagery, and when I removed the scratch off for my fortune, I got the snail. And the snail means follow your desire to be more outgoing and energetic.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's great advice. I often hold myself back. So it's exciting to, get that permission to do what's good for you.
Definitely. And
Yeah.
I feel like you shine so brightly. You have so much to offer. And if you shrink yourself, that's everyone's disservice, So shine bright. I love that fortune for you, especially with the spider. It's perfect for you. Oh, and I just want to talk about Hecate. We'll get into her in a moment. But it's very Scorpion. I just definitely see spiders as also very Scorpio coded.
Yes, for sure. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. And what did you get?
I got the all-seeing eye, and I got the moon, which it tracks because I'm a very lunar person. I got my moon on my ascendant in Aries. So the fortune reads, the moon is a hidden aspect of your true nature is coming to the surface, which is literally so perfect for Scorpio season because it's all about revealing things or maybe even secrets, but discovery. There's a lot about that. So I feel like things are coming to the surface. And I've been doing a lot of shadow work too, especially this Scorpio season. And sometimes the truths are really not pleasant to see, but it's better when you just turn on the lights. It's like, oh, you see all the dirt everywhere or whatever, but it's like, then you can clean, you know? But if you're just trying to clean in the dark, you're going to miss a spot, you know?
That is so good to like think about. Yeah, because I do feel like when you avoid Scorpio for so long, then that represents itself as like the tower. Whereas like if you listen to Scorpio and you like turn on the lights, then that's just like the death of like, okay, now I have to get rid of all this stuff. Like that's no big deal. It's a new beginning. It's fresh.
Yeah. Well, and I love that you brought up death, because that is the card associated with tarot, or the tarot card associated with Scorpio. And a lot of people think it's really scary. I wish I had it out, but that's okay. We won't talk too much about it. But Scorpio, death. I just like to think of it as like a sunset versus a sunrise. It's like, when the sun's setting, are you going to freak out that, you know, the world's ending? Like, no. You're going to sleep and be assured that the sun will rise the next day. So there's a new beginning. Any ending is a promise of a new beginning. And I do believe that's the wisdom that Scorpio has to offer us.
Yeah.
And that's another thing too. I know we're already getting into things. Blame it on, Mercury Sagittarius retrograde.
We're just so excited.
Yeah, literally. We've been planning this for a little while now. We've been really excited about it. But anyway, I guess we can get into the cards instead. But so you got the Ace of Pentacles. I got the Nine of Cups. It was actually reversed, I think. So I can keep it there. But tell us like what you're thinking about that Ace of Pentacles for the purpose of today's, did you have like an intention or anything?
Well, I do feel like this is more specific towards like me and less about like the Scorpio talk that we're having today. But I've recently been having a transformation and a death in my life. You know, a lot of things are changing, and I feel like now I'm at the point where I'm starting a new beginning. So I do think that this is like the end of the Scorpio cycle, or like the beginning, depending on how you're looking at it. Of like, okay, you really did a lot of introspection, you dove deep, you released things that did not serve you, now you're rebuilding, so now you can accept a new like opportunity because you are a new person, right? Like you're gonna get new like friends and new hobbies because of you're in a new stage.
Well, I love that too. Well, and it's very earthy. You are a Capricorn, so
well, and I love money. Like that's a big thing for me. So like, hopefully this is more money, like new money.
But it's a seed, right? It's a potential, because like a seed can only grow if you nurture it, right? So I feel like this is a really great opportunity, and I think you being here too and showing up, like you still are pretty new and stepping into like your authority and your leadership in this realm of like sharing your wisdom with other people. And it is hard when it's, you know, it's really easy to fall into like a fraud mindset, or like, who am I to like share things with people or whatever. And I feel like this is like you planting a seed in yourself too, like showing up here in this podcast and being like, okay, I want to share my wisdom and I want to explore more with people. And so this is you committing to yourself, your values, and also your talents, and sharing that for sure, and your self-worth for sure.
Thank you. I love that.
I love an Ace of Pentacles. That's really nice.
What about your card?
Okay, I've got the Nine of Cups reversed here. I like the Nine of Cups a lot. I mean, it's a card of contentment for me. It's solitude, but whenever I see it reversed, it is an inward energy. I like the yellow a lot for both of us too. I mean, it's Sunday when we're recording this, so I have to wear yellow. But I'm feeling like maybe an inward satisfaction or emotional, you know, this isn't like quite the 10, which is like a happily ever after, but this is like, hey, you have plenty, you've worked a lot for what you've got. And like it is water too, which we're talking about Scorpio water season. So I feel like with this discovery too, the all-seeing eye, with maybe some emotional discovery through this chat about Scorpio, because like I said in the beginning, Scorpio for me is in my 8th house, which is kind of like a blind spot for me as an Aries rising. So it's kind of nice to feel the things being revealed. So maybe some sort of emotional contentment will come through this chat today.
Ooh, I love that. I think the reversal is so Scorpio. Inward reflection, like you need Scorpio for that. So, because if you can't even start to see like in your brain different outcomes or change, if you can't even think about it, then you're never going to transform.
That's true. That's so true. Well, and reversals also remind me of retrogrades. So that's perfect for today. It's like we're reviewing. We can't go too far forward without reviewing and maybe cutting out, like Scorpio, you know, discerning what is actually useful, what's not.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, you brought a special deck as well to share with the class. Do you want to tell us about your deck?
This is like the Dragon Love deck, I think is what the name was. I'll have to look it up and get that to Bren. But I got this the other day while I was working at a balloon gig, and I was just like had a little break and went upstairs, and there was this really cute metaphysical shop in like Dry Creek area. So I just felt connected to dragons lately. Me and Bren have been working with them a lot.
Yeah.
And it was only $12.
Ooh, I love that.
know.
Well, and when you say balloon gig, can you do a little shout out really quick?
I'm a balloon twister. I'm a professional balloon twister. So this is like one of my many things that I enjoy, aside from tarot and astrology. But it gives me a lot of cool opportunities to meet different people. And yeah, I got to go to a metaphysical shop while I was working.
Love that. Ooh, that card shows you. Should we do one card just for the two of us, or should we each do one?
I think we should do one for each of us.
Okay. Ooh.
Interesting.
You're one at a time, baby. I keep getting doubles. Double trouble. All right, let's
Want to go first?
Okay, I'll go first this time. First. Sure. Okay. I got Power reversed, another reversal. And this is there's number 4. I keep thinking it's Jupiter. I got this one last time. I've worked with this deck once with you before, and I got the same thing. So it's Mars, number 4, and Aries. It's very red, very root chakra, I'm feeling, and I am very Aries. And we were talking about this yesterday about the similarities between Aries and Scorpio, because although they don't really see each other on the chart necessarily, they're both ruled by Mars traditionally. So with this reversal, like, I'm just so interested. 4s are about home life and stability to me, and I definitely feel that with you, and I feel like I am more powerful. It is more powerful to share. You know, we're more powerful when we share our power. Oh my gosh. And then, Mars is also just about action and doing what you got to do. Because I'm also very Piscean, and my Mars is in Pisces, my natal Mars, and I feel like I try to avoid things a lot of the time. Like if things feel too much or whatever, it's like avoidance. And I think this might be a calling to me to be like, again, like Scorpio, the lesson of Scorpio is just like, face it, like look at it. Again, turn on those lights, see what needs to be cleaned. But my Pisces nature is like, no, but like, can we just live in the fantasy of like things?
It's like, let me distract myself, please. Yeah. I love that. The power card is so, I wanted to talk about Aries today too, so I'm glad that came up. I guess mine was also interesting.
Reverse?
Yeah, reverse. Okay. We also pulled this for me when we worked with this deck the
Oh.
last time. This energy just comes up, like Spirit speaks to me and Bren in a lot of different ways. This is balance. This is Venus in Libra. And this is also supposed to represent like the Justice card in like the major arcana. Justice has been a really big theme for me right now. Healing old traumas and wounds. You have to remember, like, justice, is not about, what's the word? Justice is not about like what's really fair. It's about being honest.
That's so interesting. Well, and I want to just show the class, if you can even see it. I never know in these videos, but yours is very blue as well. It's reversed, and it's an 11, which then simplifies to the number 2 of partnership, things like that. And like both of them together, Aries and Libra are mirrors to each other. So,
okay, cool.
So I think that's really cool that we both, maybe through this presentation, will also be mirroring each other in ways that we can find balance and we can find our own power as well.
Well, I love this so much because Venus coming up, we also need to talk about Scorpio's sister sign, Taurus, today.
Right.
So I'm really excited to compare Scorpio to Taurus and to Aries, because there's really valuable lessons that you can learn about Scorpio from the other side.
Most definitely.
Yeah,
and I know you had a few things that you wanted to talk about today. We were supposed to go over that beforehand, but we got so excited, I guess we started without it. But do you want to take the lead and just tell us about
Scorpio? Yeah. So we've already kind of talked about how Scorpio is representative of death and, transformation. But to give you guys like a visual of what Scorpio really is like how powerful it is, I want you to imagine like a forest fire has completely destroyed this region, and 10 years later it has so much regrowth. It's like population is booming because it needed rest to recalibrate and recover. I often think about Scorpio as the Pokemon.
Ooh.
Because
that makes so much sense.
Yeah, you're evolving, you know? So what I can't even remember which one I wanted to talk about, but I feel like Eevee is like my favorite. So I kind of just want to talk about Eevee. It has a lot of different evolutions to it, and it's not like a better Eevee. It's a new thing. So Scorpio is not just about change, it's about evolving. People think about it a lot as like the caterpillar, right? It has to go into a cocoon and it has to metamorphosize, and then it comes out and it's not a better caterpillar.
Right. It's completely different.
Yeah. So I kind of want to give you guys some like imagery and visualizations to compare to Scorpio to recognize like it is intense. It is dark, and Scorpio gets a really bad rap sometimes because it is a little bit more deep, and a lot of people don't like to go deep.
Well, it can be uncomfortable to go deep.
Yes, but uncomfortable is so good for you to grow and change. So it's hard to like love that side, but I've had so many different transformations in my life that I really do love Scorpio, and I love a transformation, especially a visual one, because that's like the easiest way to see change. But Scorpio is definitely more subconscious transformation. Yeah. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about.
Absolutely.
And then, of course, talking about the other signs in comparison. But what do you think about Scorpio?
Well, I have so many thoughts. I love Scorpios so much. They scare me in the best ways. But I love the ambition and like the drive to uncover the deeper things, especially like you with that Mars too.
Yeah.
In that first house, you definitely have a drive with that, which I'm always very inspired by. And we both have water Marses. Again, I have the Pisces Mars, you have the Scorpio Mars. So, you know, I sometimes feel like my Pisces Mars is drowning sometimes because it's like Mars is in the ocean, and I have a bunch of other Pisces stuff too. But like, it brings me comfort that Scorpio Mars, it's in its home there. So it's like Mars is not foreign to water, you know? It's one of the elements that actually it operates all right in. So by, you know, getting to know you more and understanding the way that you go about your Martian energy, because we're going to get a little personal. I mean, I kind of want to get a little personal. I won't share too much from you, but like, we both can be, like, I kind of see water Marses as being operative. It can be a manipulative energy. And we've been talking a lot about how, like, you know, we have a lot of, you know, manipulation has a really bad rap, but there's actually really great ways that we can use manipulation in ways that, like, we manipulate life all the time. Like, if we want something, we have to ask for it and maybe use tact to get what we want, or just do what's best for everyone. Because sometimes someone's really stubborn, for example, and, you know, we need to manipulate, like, the situation or whatever in order for them to understand what's best for everyone or something, you know. So manipulation is not always bad, but it obviously, sometimes we manipulate ourselves, especially me, Pisces Mars 12th house. Like, I don't even realize that I'm doing it, and then until, you know, things do come to the surface or whatever. But I definitely wanted to talk about that water Mars element.
I love a Pisces Mars. I have multiple friends with the Pisces Mars. You're one of them. I think we get along really well. Just because, our drive, right, is matching in that way. It's like, it's really fluid. Like, I think it's easier to find a pathway through to what we want. Because, water is flowing. And sometimes that does come with manipulation. I hate that word. I don't like to manipulate people, but I do, you know, like.
But again, manipulation is not always bad.
Yeah, the word has a negative connotation for sure. I would say, like, diplomats are manipulative, right? Like, people put on a front sometimes. Yeah, exactly. Scorpio has so much in common with so many different signs. Scorpio gets such a bad rap sometimes, but Scorpio is so easy to work with a lot of different energies.
Well, and I love that you brought up it has a lot of commonality with other signs, because Libra is, you know, the balance, and that's the sign that comes before Scorpio. So if we're talking about the zodiac as like a story, you know, what comes before Scorpio, that's Libra. You have to have partnership, you have to have a relationship then to reach the Scorpio deeper side. It's like you have to kind of have the niceties and like the surface level pleasantries, like Libra's really good at, like, hey, let's keep the peace, like that kind of stuff. But then when Scorpio comes in, it's like, and like, for us to actually merge and have like depth and deeper meaning in things, we have to be a little bit more assertive, or like that Martian language comes after that Libra.
Yeah, I feel like Scorpio gets a little bit of like a bad rap, like with that intimidation, because they don't let things stay buried.
I would argue that they're very secretive, though.
Yes, when
it's strategic.
Them, yeah,
I would say, especially Scorpio Mars is very strategic.
I guess I never really noticed that really until this year.
Oh my god.
And like, yeah,
so real, but yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes you don't even realize that you're doing it to yourself, right?
Well, if you have your own chart, you know, you're already living this life. You sometimes don't realize like other people don't experience that same thing as you because they don't have the same energies.
Yeah. And the Capricorn Mercury, it helps me a lot with that Scorpio energy. So I can't imagine like having that Scorpio energy and having it be like directed in a inconvenient place, right? Like mine really, really helps me.
Yeah. That's really lovely. Really lovely. Well, do you want to talk a little bit? Well, right before this, we were looking at this body astrology book.
Yes.
And we wanted to talk a little bit about what body parts Scorpio rules. I don't know if you want to take that on or...
Yeah, we were seeing that Scorpio rules the reproductive organs. So, like, all of, like, your waist organs as well. What else did it say?
Oh, yeah, waist as in, like, your bladder and, like...
Your colon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the inner thighs, they said, too.
Oh, and like, your sweat glands. And your nose. So,
which is, like, an expelling thing. That was, like, the main thing about Scorpio. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. Scorpio was really cool because your nose is related to your pheromones, right, which helps you with your reproduction. So so if you don't like the way someone smells, you're not supposed to reproduce with them, just so you know. And I think that's interesting because Scorpio is kind of sexy. Like, I just was really excited to see that because I'm like, why is Scorpio seen so strange? Because it is like the taboo. There's a little bit of like shame with Scorpio placements, especially when you embrace that more sensual side. And yeah, you were talking about expelling. Will you tell us more about that?
Oh yeah, it's like a detoxifier, you know, and in the book it was kind of talking about if we, you know, these things are unpleasant, I guess, or like just, you know, fecal matter, all these things are not like the most pleasant things, but that's actually what then can make sure that our body is operating appropriately, getting rid of toxins, and then also nourishing the soil, or like, you know, like it can nourish other things, and have like a cycle. So I think that's the beauty of Scorpio. And to go back to your evolution thing, Scorpio is not only just associated with the scorpion, as it normally, or, you know, I guess traditionally everyone knows Scorpio as the scorpion, but there's also, I don't know, I'm not an expert on this, so like I'm just gonna overview what I do know, but it's an evolution of, you know, you start as the scorpion, which is very primitive animal, which, you know, will sting you. It has a hard shell. It can like attack you. It's very primitive. Then it can evolve into the eagle, which then, I don't know, have I told you about this yet?
I think we've talked about it a little bit.
Yeah, but then it somehow, if you can overcome that primitive like desire to just like attack, you can then evolve into this eagle, or it might be a hawk. I don't know.
Either they
both are very similar. But seeing things from a bird's eye view and really being able to discern, or like just see from like a higher octave, but then somehow that then can evolve into like from the ashes into the phoenix rising, which is the ultimate evolution of a Scorpio.
Yeah.
If you can get to that point. Not everyone you know, expresses Scorpio in a healthy or helpful way.
Facts.
Every sign has, you know, pros and cons, but that's the cycle. So I mean, a phoenix rising from the ashes is the most beautiful, like powerful metaphor of like evolution ever. It's like divine, almost. Like a phoenix isn't actually a real animal, right?
No.
I'm like, that's not actually real, but it's just, I think it's so funny too that you brought up, like, you're so drawn to dragons as well, especially right now, and I just kind of see the phoenix as like a dragon kind of type too. It's this mythical creature. It's bigger than the world itself almost.
Yeah, that is so cool. I love that. Hawk is one of my spirit animals too. So yes, and it does even reference the phoenix in like when it talks about the hawk. So I think it's really cool because the different perspective is really what Scorpio needs, because it can be deceptive and like cunning, but that's like the darker side. And like the lighter side is more like, I smell fishiness, I see what you're doing, I am gonna decide how I'm gonna act accordingly.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Scorpio.
Yeah, they're like the investigators, the detectives. Like, don't lie to a Scorpio, y'all.
Well, yeah.
They'll find out.
Yeah, they definitely can suss things out. Well, I wanted to ask you, I had a question and now it has escaped me. What?
Sorry, it'll come back.
Oh, yeah, I know. That's okay. It's hard to like listen and like it's that thing, I don't want to be thinking while I'm trying to be listening, you know what I mean? So then I drop it and then Mercury retrograde.
Yes.
But this is what I wanted to ask. Perfect. So Scorpio is a fixed sign. So this is one of, when we have a fixed sign, like we're in Scorpio season right now. So we're in the middle of fall, at least in the northern hemisphere where we're at. So, a fixed sign is pretty secure in what it is. It's kind of more rigid, more stubborn. So what I wanted to kind of ask you is, since it's such a fixed sign, why is it then associated with like transformation? Because it can be like so stubborn. But my philosophy, I'll tell you my philosophy and then you can go about it. But it's like the only constant in life is change. So that's the fixed nature of Scorpio. Like Scorpio is fixed in that understanding.
Oh yeah, you said it perfectly, because that is like, it is like a juxtaposition. It's like, what do you mean you're fixed? Why do you like change? Like, why are you comfortable with it? And that's because change is something you can't fight. It's gonna be there. And I think this is a perfect segue to talk about Aries. Okay. So both ruled by Mars, but Scorpio is more about like, it's not just a change physically, it's a change internally. Whereas I see Aries as more of like an action change. It's like, I can go to the gym, or I can meal prep. Whereas Scorpio is like, no, I'm internally reflecting. Things visually around me are changing. Things are dying. What's dying in me?
Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot. And Mars too, I do see as like, it is more primitive in certain ways. Like, well, at least the Aries, I don't know. I feel like Mars is more primitive. It's like the primal urge of just like desires, or your needs. Your needs getting met. Aries more being like that fiery, like it's also the breath of life. Aries, it's like, let's start stuff. Like you need a match to light the candle, and then the candle can light more things, but the match itself, it's like that spark. That's more of the Aries, whereas Scorpio, that Mars is more like, I don't know, that primitive desire of reproduction, or like the sensuality, the just those things operating in the background that's just so animalistic.
Yeah. It is super primal, of like, they're hidden subconscious urges that we feel to help us evolve, to help us transform. It's super subconscious. And then I kind of feel like, if we're looking at it like the story comes, like Libra comes before Scorpio to show you all those imbalances and to show you where you need to make the changes. And Scorpio is like, okay, it's time to cut it off right now before winter comes, or it's going to be here until spring, essentially.
Yeah.
When it's Aries season.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and we've been talking a lot about Mars with Scorpio, but modernly it also is ruled by Pluto.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to ask you a little bit about your perspective on that.
I mean, I understand that like Pluto is seen as like the transformation planet, so like it makes sense to be linked with Scorpio. I feel like I have a little bit of like a disconnect with Scorpio and Pluto, but also my Pluto's in Sagittarius, so I experience death and change a lot differently, I guess, because it's in Sagittarius. So yeah, I'm really attracted to Scorpio Pluto though. I love a Scorpio Pluto. We've been kind of comparing charts, and it's a pattern of mine in relationships. So I guess with that, because I'm so attracted to it, I see a real like emotional depth and like a hidden, not quite wound, but like just a hidden part that needs a little bit of comfort and like love. because I feel like Scorpio Pluto is really reserved. Like they don't really express themselves a lot. It's kind of deceptive, right? Of like, oh, do you like me? Do you not like me? It's strategic. Scorpio Pluto.
Right. Well, Pluto is symbolic of transformation, much like Scorpio, but also like the comparison a lot is like Mars is the grenade, and then Pluto is the atomic bomb. So it's like, yeah. Did you have something to say with that too, like that energy?
Well, that's so funny because I was just saying like the death card is like the bomb, whereas like the Tower card is like the atomic bomb, right? So I feel that of like if you don't acknowledge the Mars side, then it's gonna evolve into more of like a Pluto dramatic change. So I feel like that's why Scorpio is ruled by 2, because like you can listen and it can just be like a normal death, or you cannot listen and it's gonna be like, no, everything's different. New car, new home, new job. Like, you ever gone through a phase of your life where it's like, oh my gosh, everything's crashing down around me? That's Pluto.
Wow. That is really profound.
Yeah.
And I like what you were saying too. I mean, and this, I guess, comes to the philosophical question of free will versus fate or things like that. Because I think some things are, fated to happen, or at least like there's a lot of things out of our control. So even if we do all these works and things like that to avoid that Plutonian explosion, sometimes it's just gonna happen regardless. But I really do like your invitation for us to also think about how if we do make these small changes and we are conscious and we do the work and things like that, those explosions are less likely to happen.
Yeah, I think it's so hard to acknowledge that part. So it's a lot of work to accept that Scorpio change, but it really is just for like your better self. And that's so interesting because then right after Scorpio season is Sagittarius, and Sagittarius, we were talking about how it really helps you find alignment with what you need and what's good for you. So I see these parts of the story playing out in such a different way because of Scorpio's influence.
Yeah. Well, and I love Sagittarius too. I feel like if you do the work of the Scorpio, then you can have the freedom and the fun of Sagittarius. It's like then you can explore, you can widen your horizons, but you have to do that like Scorpion kind of like depth work.
Yeah, that work's yucky.
Is it? Well, it definitely can be, because again, Scorpio is kind of like I like to think of Scorpio as the swamp. It's like, whereas Cancer is maybe like a pond or a lake, and Pisces is the ocean. Like Scorpio being the swamp, it's like, what's beneath the surface? Like, it's murky water. Like, what is there?
I heard this from my therapist the other day, and she was saying like, you are in this transformational period of your life where you're like the lotus flower. Like, you're trying to burst through all those weeds, you're trying to burst through all that gunk in the swamp. And once you get through that is like your new beginning. Scorpio wants you to have that like lotus flower, but you just have to really travel through all the swampiness first.
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, I want to ask you, like, for people maybe like me who I wouldn't say I struggle with Scorpio energy. I really do appreciate Scorpio energy, but again, it's my blind spot. So would you have any like advice or like healing balms for someone like me to access the power of Scorpio? Besides, I mean, you're my Scorpio friend, so being around you, I obviously feel like I can see a lot of that. But
I mean, Scorpio is rough. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you.
It's Martian!
Yeah, like, I deal with it a lot, so, like, I have that reality of it's not gonna be great, but once you come through it, it's so worth it. Scorpio is never meant to, like, cut you off or destroy you. It's really meant to help you level up. Because, transformation, you're not just changing. Like, anyone can change, but transforming is really evolving, really getting a new set of skills to help you survive. I feel like that's the big primal, right? It's to help you survive long term with what's best for you in your emotional state, because it is a water sign. So I don't want anyone to be afraid of Scorpio because it is so intense. And like every sign there's gonna be a good and a bad, but Scorpio really just is there to help you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When you were talking a little bit like about working with maybe Scorpion energy on Tuesdays because it's ruled by Mars. So maybe like, and it is a water sign. So I think maybe you did say this, I could be making it up, but maybe like taking a bath or like working with water on a Tuesday could maybe crying. I don't know.
Yes, crying for sure. Whatever like helps you work with Mars specifically. I mean, Scorpio, yes, you could do Tuesdays out with the bath, or I do really feel like that could also just be like a day to really embrace yourself too, of like, okay, like what does future me need, right?
Mm-hmm.
How, because if you don't start making changes now, you're not going to be that future you.
Mm-hmm.
So just like maybe you can even take one small step to being that version of yourself. Like work on your goal on Tuesday for Scorpio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh. Especially like a psychological goal or like an
Yeah.
emotional goal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or you could like clean out your closet on Tuesday too. Like get rid of something. Like release.
Yeah. Ooh, or repurpose something. Because I really liked your forest fire analogy at the beginning where it's like, yeah, the whole thing had to burn down and that's sad, but that gave enough nutrients for new life to grow.
Yeah, that's my favorite like imagery.
Oh, mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Did you want to talk a little bit about, I don't know if you had any ideas on like, I know you are showing up, your Scorpio is in your first house. So that is literally, you are embodying that Scorpio. And for me, 8th house, that's more of my psyche and like other things in different houses. Like, do you have any things you want to talk about, like how it might show up in different houses or anything like that?
Interesting.
Especially like I'm thinking kind of like your family right now. Like I know you've been doing a lot of ancestral work and like looking at your family's charts and things like that. And I know you have, family members who have different rising signs, so their Scorpio is going to be in different places. So I don't know if you had any just observations. I'm putting you on the spot with that, but
that is so interesting. Off the top of my head, I'm having a hard time recalling a lot of my family's like Pluto placements, or I don't know. I know like we've been talking about like generational signs being passed down from family members.
Your dad's a Capricorn rising or a Pisces rising?
Pisces rising.
So his Scorpio would then be in his 9th house.
Yeah, of like spirituality, philosophy. That's so interesting. My dad's kind of a spiritual person. He's always kept that very hidden beneath the surface.
There we go.
Yeah, it's like growing up when he would say like religious stuff to me, it always really surprised me because I'd be like, what are you talking about? Like, that's not your character. But then growing into an adult and seeing his spirituality come out in different ways, I'm like, okay, you are a very spiritually in tune person, being that Pisces rising. And yeah, his Pluto is actually on my mom's rising sign. So we were talking earlier about how I'm attracted to Scorpio Plutos. That's because historically.
Yeah, that's on your rising sign as well. Yeah. So that's a familial thing.
So yeah, it's very interesting. I'm thinking the 9th house is an interesting like way for it to come up. But yeah, I wish I had like my family's charts like ready to kind of.
That's okay. Yeah. I just wanted an example, and also now we can talk about that Pluto on your ascendant. I think that's something really interesting to talk about too, because that being an ancestral inheritance, it seems like you've had, is really interesting. But also that your relationships are so profoundly transformational for you, and they also have. They take a lot of time to process, and that's actually not something you let go of either, because that's another thing about Scorpio is like obsession and clinging on to things. Like it's so funny because it's like I feel like it's almost like it's like a hypocritical sign in a lot of ways. Yes. Like we were talking about the fixed versus the change. It's like obsession, like not being able to let go, but
then also death and change everything. And
yes.
Yeah, so it's so funny. I'm so obsessive. Yeah. And my partnerships are super transformational because I'm attracted to people with Pluto Scorpio placements. That's a fault of none other but my own. And
I mean, it's just what was imprinted on you. So
yeah, it is a generational like ancestral thing. So I think that's kind of cool. But love for me is someone that's going to help you transform and someone that's going to help you elevate. So it makes sense that I would be attracted to Scorpio energy. Especially for romantic partners.
Yeah. Well, and I'm just like envisioning your chart in my head right now because you were saying earlier that you're like, well, I have Pluto Sagittarius, so I see it a little differently. The second house is actually something we can't see. Yeah, it's like also a blind spot because it's like the next door neighbor you can't really like see.
You have to turn all the way out.
Yeah, or see it from a different perspective. Maybe another planet can communicate to that, but you can't really see it directly. So it's kind of interesting that your Scorpio first house with your Mars is can't see that Sagittarius Pluto in your second house, but it's informing it. They're both so informing. So maybe like again, Pluto is more associated with obsession than Mars, but maybe like your obsession with your values, your obsession with your finances, your obsession with
work.
Sure. But also like your sense of self.
Yeah.
Like the first and second house are very intertwined. Like number one, like the first house being who you are, your physical body, but your second house being your self-worth and like your money, sure, but like they directly inform each other even though they can't really always see each other.
Yeah, interesting. Well, and I feel like Sagittarius, because it's so free, it's so used to change. So I feel like they really work well together in that area of my chart. But yeah, I would love to see more of like my family's placements to see like where their Plutos are, because it is such a transformational sign. Like I think everyone deserves a glow up, and so I think Pluto, think of it as your glow up sign. Like what sign is your Pluto in? What house is it in? How can you use that to your advantage to level up and transform?
Yeah, I want to talk about the toxic traits of Scorpio.
I know them well.
Yeah, well, let's talk about it.
So I don't know.
Well, I guess obsession too is like I didn't mean to cut you off.
Keep going.
Obsession. I mean, I don't think obsession is always bad. Like again, I think it's kind of like the manipulation thing. It's like, well, what are you manipulating? Are you manipulating someone to not kill someone else? Like, is that really bad? Or, are you manipulating someone to do something they don't want to do that is not good for them? Whereas, like, obsession, it's like, well, if you're really focused in on a project or, a creation of your own, like, I don't really think that's a bad thing if you're, like, really intensely focused on that. I don't think that kind of obsession is, like, harmful necessarily. If it has boundaries, obviously, but...
Yeah, to me, obsession for Scorpio is obsession into transforming. So it could mean like, okay, I have this goal to reach by April, right? Scorpio is going to hone in on that goal, and that is going to be part of their transformation. So like for me right now, I'm really interested in education and growing my skills, especially when it comes to divination. So that is kind of my obsession right now. Historically, when I'm in relationships, that becomes my obsession. So I don't want to like ever compare Scorpio to like mental illness, but it can be perceived as similar to like borderline personality disorder. Like that's how extreme Scorpio is. Like you got a person, like, okay, that's it, that's what you're thinking about all the time. And that could be even like your catalyst into your transformation, because Scorpio is so obsessive. And then, of course, the sister sign is Taurus, which is ruled by Venus and love. So Scorpio loves love and obsession.
Well, this is a great segue to talk a little bit more about the sibling sign Taurus with Scorpio. It's the mirror. They're the mirror of each other. So Mars and Venus, they're... very interesting energies. Taurus, I see as, well, they're both fixed signs as well, so they can see each other on that same level. And if we're talking about, again, those polarities, there's always a similarity on the polarities. So what's the similarity between Scorpio and Taurus?
Oh, that's so interesting. I was honestly thinking about the way that they kind of feed into each other, but I don't know. What do you think?
Well, they're both fixed signs, so they're both stubborn. Stubborn earth versus stubborn water. But I see them as like values, like Taurus being the earthy, physical. Like we need food to live. We need to enjoy life through these beautiful things. It being more Venusian as well, like Venus. Taurus is the comforts, like what do we need to survive, whereas Scorpio is more of that emotional security, like, well, what do we need to like, and also it's about merging a lot of the times with other people too.
Yeah.
So like, what do we need to also feel good about our resources emotionally to then feed into our physical? Like that you have to have water to nourish the earth and vice versa. You know, they go hand in hand.
Yeah, I love that. I definitely feel that there is that camaraderie between Taurus and Scorpio. I have a complicated relationship with Scorpios, or Tauruses. That speech today.
Mm-hmm.
I love that because I really focus in on the materialism when it comes to Taurus. And I could even see Taurus as being like a hoarder sign sometimes,
Sure.
which can be like that connection to Scorpio of the obsession with materialism.
Oh yeah.
Whereas like Scorpio, because they are okay with death and they're okay with releasing, right? Okay, sometimes. Then that's like the opposite of hoarder, right? Like minimalist, like I this is all I need. Where it's like actually you could indulge a little bit. You could have some extreme like what's the word value in, you know, a fancy object. You don't need to always be releasing. So I think that there's like the opposite is the lesson for each other. Like Scorpio, you don't have to let go all the time, and Taurus, you don't have to hoard onto like and hold on to the things because you'll always be receiving more. Yeah.
Well, and they're mirrors to each other. So sometimes, like you saying, you have a complicated relationship with Taurus. Like I'm Aries rising, I have a complicated relationship with Libra because like. But anyway, it's because it's our mirror, and sometimes again we have a similar goal, but we're going about it in a different way. We want security, you know, like Taurus, Scorpio, but Scorpio wants it through change, transformation, action, that Mars energy, and Taurus wants it in like slow and steady wins the race. Like let's chill, let's enjoy. Sometimes Taurus can also be lazy, and so.
And you can't be lazy with Scorpio.
You don't think so?
I mean, you can be, I guess, but you won't transform if you're lazy. You know, and
actually, I love that you said that because I often think about growth as like that discomfort. Like growth comes through that discomfort and things like that. But if we want to stay, you know, keep the status quo, that's comfort. The comfort zone versus the growth zone. That's kind of what I'm seeing here.
That's so funny. I'm thinking also like the imagery that's coming. Oh, I just spilled some tea on me. Okay.
Yeah, I'll get you a little thing. You continue.
Yeah. That's so funny. The thing about Scorpio is that it's like when you are turning a piece of coal, into a diamond, that is Scorpio. You're, you know, using pressure to turn coal into a diamond, whereas Taurus is like to make dough rise, you have to let it rest.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Look at you. Wow. Well, I love that you spilled on yourself. Like, I'm sorry, but like you spilled on your Scorpio area.
I know.
It's water,
yeah,
so you're like
so
nourishing. Well, not to like switch topics too much, but since we're talking about reproduction and stuff too, like I wanted to ask you about Scorpio and sex.
Yeah, Scorpios are passionate. Yeah, there's like
that Martian energy because Aries too.
There was like this book I think that was saying like the 12 different horoscopes in bed or something, and I was like, that's a really interesting like research project. I wonder like if there's a way to do more research about that, because I don't think that Scorpio is like all you need, right? Like Mars placements are a big thing. Like we were even talking about Jupiter the other day, like in the 5th house, right? Like
lots of.
So I would say if you have a Scorpio placement in your 5th house, you're probably really good in bed. Congratulations.
Wow. Just because. And why?
So 5th house rules like your pleasure, kids, passion, creativity. Is there anything I'm missing in that?
Yeah, those are the main ones for sure.
Cool. I'm learning, y'all.
We all are. We're the fools, right? We're all fools. That's the point.
Yeah, so my experience has been growing a lot with Bren, but to me, the 5th house is about pleasure. You know, Scorpio is also about like those pleasures, and also, you know, the opposite being Venus, or being Libra. Jeez.
Wait,
being Taurus. There's all these things in my head now. Yeah, so Scorpio is about pleasure as well, and then of course, because it rules our reproductive organs, I'd say if you have a 5th house Scorpio, congratulations, you should put that on your resume.
And if you have these placements, like please write in the comments. We all want to learn, and we want to engage with you, and let us know if it's not true. Like, because also, like, astrology is complex, and you know, maybe you have that, like, that 5th house Scorpio placement, but then it's in detriment, or there's like some sort of maybe it's combust or something with the sun, and so it's not actually operating. That planet might not be operating in the same kind of way, or maybe Mars is combust in your chart somewhere else.
That'd be really cool. Please let us know. Yeah, because I do want to learn more about that. What do you think about Scorpio and sex?
Me?
Yeah.
I do think that Scorpio is sexy to me. But that's also, I have that Pisces Mars, so it's like, okay, like, I don't know. I think we see each other in that same way. But I mean, I've also experienced, God, I was so obsessed with this person last year. Oh my God. This person had a Scorpio Mars, right? And he was more celibate, actually. And I was like kind of confused. I was like, well, isn't Mars Scorpio supposed to be really sexy and sensual and all that stuff? And I was looking into it, and Scorpio Mars is also the most likely to be reserved. Like, they can control their libido.
Stop. Scorpio Mars here.
Yeah. So they're the most likely to be able to, like, control it and be, So it's, yes, they have access to that, but they also have access to focus that energy elsewhere. Because this person was also very much involved in his work and things like that. So he was using that Martian energy for that.
Yeah.
But I actually think,
which is also sexy.
no, he had Scorpio 5th house Mars.
Stop.
Because he's a Cancer rising.
That makes so much sense, dude. No.
I was obsessed with this man's, like, sickeningly. But then we also had his Pluto was directly trining my Venus, and so I think that was the obsession.
And your Venus is Libra? No.
Aries.
Aries. Okay.
Like,
yeah, I don't know.
Libra, I wish.
Well, that's so interesting that you bring up celibacy, because I was doing research about Scorpio Venus, and that is one thing that's known for Scorpio Venus is also celibacy. So it's so interesting that they rule the reproductive organs, but in 2 different planets, they can also be shown as more of a reserved energy. So Scorpio is not what you guys think it is. It's very confusing.
Well, I think also that the reasoning behind that is because Scorpio understands how sacred the reproductive organs are.
Yes.
And so they're not going to just share that with anyone. You know, there has to be some sort of connection, maybe emotionally, and again, it really depends on the rest of your chart. We're just doing kind of cookbook style astrology right now. But.
Well, I love that you bring that up, because this morning I was watching a video and it was talking about Egyptian beliefs when it comes to astrology. And one of the things that it had brought up was saying that when you engage in sex, it's a ritual. And if you are committing this ritual while you're intoxicated, or you're inviting in spirits into that, and then if you conceive when you're doing this ritual, and you're not in the right headspace, or you guys are at like a low vibrational, like you guys aren't emotionally connected, you're not really doing a ritual, you're just engaging in the primal urge, that can result in like a low frequency childbirth, essentially. So if you really want your child to have like prophetic abilities, or be really wise or be a leader, then when you are engaging in sex, you need to be intentional with the people you're being with, and it needs to be more of like a ritual to help elevate your future child's spirit, essentially.
Absolutely.
So interesting. I don't know, that's like Egyptian, folklore. So I think that's really cool.
I totally see that.
Yeah.
I totally see that. And that's kind of interesting. I was just reflecting on a client that I had not too long ago who they were trying to conceive. Actually, it was a couple that came in. It was really cute. And I don't know a lot about kids, but like what Spirit was telling me was a lot of that. It's like they were really wanting to start a family, and I don't think they were struggling. I think they were just like, do you have any advice or anything for us? And I was like, you guys need to have fun. Like, go into the bedroom and just love. Like, love needs to be part of it. Like, that's why they call it love making, because I really think that's when conception is the start of life, right? So if that energy And I think that's what Scorpio understands too, is like things, it's water. It's under the surface. These are not tangible things that we can hold and touch. Scorpio understands the underlying energies of things. And it can be imprinted on your child for sure.
Yeah, so I know it's like a little bit of like a tangent kind of, but I think it's so interesting to talk about since we are talking about Scorpio and sensuality. And, you know, Scorpio feels a lot of shame for expressing their sexuality. So, of course, because of the society we live in, that doesn't help. But I just kind of want us to remember to like reclaim that energy, is that like it is sacred and it is very powerful, and you don't have to be ashamed of your sexual energy.
Well, and just to add to what you were saying earlier too, with Scorpio's water sign, it's fluids. So like the fluid exchange, and now I'm thinking of like STIs as well. It's like, you know, there is a lot of transformation that can happen through fluids, and not all of it is always beneficial.
Yeah, so true.
And so I do think that Scorpio can understand, and on some kind of level, that the fluid exchange is profound.
Yeah.
And it can create life, you know, to sperm to egg, then the womb space. So then that's why through pregnancy and things like that, because Scorpio also rules the uterus. Through pregnancy, how the parent, the pregnant person is experiencing the pregnancy and how they're eating and what they're putting in their body, that directly influences the child.
Well, also there's like new studies coming out that show if the male, you know, the sperm giver, is not taking care of themselves physically, then that can create gestational diabetes in women when they're pregnant. It can create preeclampsia, which is just high blood pressure when you're pregnant in women. So I want there to be like that knowledge that there are new studies coming out that show men's energy affects the health of the woman during pregnancy. It is a really big energetic exchange to conceive a child. So there is like that responsibility that comes on to both parties, because yes, like someone may be carrying the baby, but like your sperm has a huge part in the quality of the pregnancy.
Well, and they've been doing a lot of studies too with like, you know, they always knew that like, oh, if the pregnant person, or like the mother, well, I guess we'll just say, is I'm trying to use gender inclusive language.
I know, yeah, that's why I was like sperm giver, but that sounds rude.
No, I love that. I love that. The sperm donor. But if the pregnant person is older, that will influence like the health of the baby. But what they also are studying is like older or unhealthy males also will influence like the child through autism rates are higher for older sperm donors. So we're still learning a lot, obviously, through all of this stuff, but there's a lot of very scorpionic wisdom in that.
Yeah, that's so cool. Yeah, I love sharing stuff like that.
I've been learning so much. I always love how these like conversations unfold, because I'm like, oh wow, there's this and this and this, and all these connections are being made. And
yeah, it's so funny too, because I was not expecting us to kind of go down this path talking about Scorpio. I really thought we were going to be talking about like death, you know, like really taking those actionable steps, you know, to create change. But I'm so excited because I want to share my dream that I had the other day, actually, because it's so Scorpio coded. So I'm having this dream the other night, and I'm like running, and I'm pregnant in the dream.
Oh my gosh.
So I don't know if I shared this with you, but I'm like running in the dream. I think I texted you after, because I was like, when I woke up, because I was just like, this is so weird. But I'm giving birth in the dream. I'm scared. And finally, after running for however long, I'm like, I can't stop it anymore. I have to stop. So I have to stop running. It's like quiet. It's peaceful. And I'm like giving birth. And then I know that everything's going to be different after this like life is born. And I wake up from my dream and I started my period.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And it was so weird, because I feel like that's Scorpio. It's like something is coming. It's going to change your life. You can't stop it. And everything is going to be different after it's here. So even though like I'm obviously not pregnant, that symbolism of being pregnant and creating new life is very Scorpio. And then everything's going to be different once it's here.
Well, and you running away, that's like telling me so much about like your psychology too. It's like you can't run away. And I'm honestly seeing a lot of that Ace of Pentacles in that. It's like, hey, here's this new beginning. Like, it's physical, it's tangible. And you were also saying that it was peaceful actually when you stopped running, right?
It was like quiet and calm. So I think that's like the big thing too. When you do dream interpretation, it's like, okay, when you're running, how do you feel? What are you running from? Okay, well, once you stop, what do you feel? What you feel when you are dreaming is so important, not just the symbolism that you're seeing.
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, I love that dream. It's so cool. It like really impacted me. And it was kind of that psychological confirmation that my life is changing. Yeah.
Well, and you are birthing new things, you know, not a physical baby, but like dreams speak in symbolism. So you're birthing like new confidence in yourself and new career options and new pathways.
Yeah. Yeah. And new life for sure. Like life and creativity is in, you know, different ways. Like creating a new business is creating life. So
that's so true.
Yeah. Where does Scorpio show up for you?
Oh yeah. Tell us the house that it shows up, if you have Scorpio placements, how you experience it. And before we close out, is there any last minute like Scorpio things that you want to share?
Oh, I mean, really think about this Pokemon. Like, think about like how far you've evolved and where you've come from, and think about those transformational periods of your life, because I'm sure you've had a few that were a little bit uncomfortable and you had growing pains. And yeah, I would just really love to know where everyone's Scorpio placements are. And if you can compare that to that transformational part of your life, like that'd be really cool.
Yeah. Well, especially like, second house would be like your finances, or third house, maybe like certain, or ninth house, I guess, education, things like that, or 10th house career.
I said, like, I was looking at my friend's chart the other day from work, and she had Scorpio in her third house, and I was like, oh, this is really cool. Like, I wonder if, like, what's going to happen in 5 years from now. She's like, my daughter's going to go to college.
Ooh.
Yeah, so, like, that's interesting. Yeah, so there's a lot of different ways that transformation can happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, if people want to find you, how can they find you? Get to know you more.
I'm on Instagram at Welding Princess, 2 Z's at the end of Princess.
We'll link this in the show notes.
Yeah, I guess that's like the best way to find me. I do a lot of different things. I'm pretty weird, pretty cool.
Definitely. Yeah, you do tarot readings, and astrology readings are new for you. Yeah, so beginner over here.
Beginner astrology reader. I'm a balloon twister. I make jewelry. I do magic. So if you need any, jewelry enchanted or protection spells, cord cuttings. Yeah. What else do I do?
Literally so many things. The thing that I love about Mia that we understand each other on is that we both have Jupiter 10th house. So we both do a lot of different things. We're both known for a lot of different things. So.
Yeah. And dancing. If you want to come dance with me, swing dancing or pole dancing. Yeah, we do a lot of that over here. So please just reach out. Like, I'd love to just get to know the foolish friends more.
Yay! Yes, and you can obviously find me at Foolish Friends. Mercury retrograde. Oh my gosh, Mercury's moving so slow right now.
Yeah.
And in Sagittarius, where it's in detriment, it does not like being there. But anyway,
feel it.
You can find me at fortuneofthefool.com and at fortuneofthefool on Instagram.
Yeah.
And TikTok, kind of, I guess, but not really. But
thank you.
Thank you all so much. Yay! Cheers to us. And so Scorpio season.
And cheers to you.
Yeah. Cheers. All right. Bye, y'all.